Sandra, I'm going to give you the floor now, and
Yeah.
please go ahead with your presentation. Thanks a lot for doing this.
Well, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to present, and you know how excited I am and share information, especially library resources, to help people grow their business. Today, we're going to have an opportunity to open up your mind to the resources that the library has to help your business grow. And sometimes we don't think about the library as having those kinds of resources, but you'd be surprised. The library has a lot of resources that's going to save you money and that's going to save you time. And when you're growing your new business, that's one thing you need to do is save money and to save time. I'm the small business librarian here, and I'll be your guide today to take you through the things that we feel that will help you grow your business. Next slide. I always like to start off with a quote. If you can't figure out your purpose, figure out your passion, for your passion will lead you right into your purpose. And that's by Bishop T.D. Jakes. And it is my hope that the people who are participating today, that you are in that process of finding your purpose and your passion. Because when we look at our small businesses throughout the country, you are the people that really give us the energy to get excited about the problems that you're solving, that your passions are driving. It helps us as a neighborhood, a city, a state, a country to be able to react to what you as small business people are going to be developing or have developed. So on that note, let's move on. This is the library's website. It's www.buffalolib.org. You can get to this um, via the internet, and you'll notice on this page that um, there are a lot of things that are happening, but there are a couple of things that I'm going to really key on as it relates to this presentation today. And as research and resources, services, and a library card. Okay, because a lot of the stuff that we're going to be talking about today, you're going to need a library card. Now, I'm not sure where all of our participants are coming from. I've noticed when I work with TED, is people all over the country sometimes. So one of the things, if you're coming from outside of the Buffalo area, I need you to check with your local libraries because a lot of the libraries do have a lot of these resources. So um, let's move on to the next. Libraries have come a long way. Um, when you hear library, obviously the first thing you think about is books, but libraries have developed a lot of resources in the whole area of media. Of course, yes, we have books, but interesting enough, when we went through this pandemic, people were not able to access books. So they had to go to ebooks, electronic books. That service rose like no other. We couldn't keep enough electronic books. These are books that you can access on any of your technology items like your phones or iPads or any of your e-readers. So this was a major thing that really blew up. We have interlibrary loan. What does that mean? We can get a book usually anywhere in the world. I mean, which is interesting. If we don't have it and any of our 37 branches don't have it, we can go to other states, we can go to colleges, we can find that book for you. Reference services. This is where I come in at. You know, what if you're looking for information, especially as you're writing your business plans and what have you, We have a host of librarians who can help you with that. We have videos, we have music, we have a bookmobile, we have this mobile truck that goes out to communities. In terms of technology, we have massive computers here. We have, people don't know, we have recording studios. We have a department that is our innovation and technology department. And in there, we have recording studios and green screens and video equipment. What does this mean for you as a small business person? Um, as you're developing um, your websites and what have you, you might want to come to the library to learn how to do podcasts and um, use our green screens and use our recording studios. And these services are free. In terms of assistance, we have um, we have a book of librarian and a book of tech librarian. So if you're dealing with any technology, you can meet with a librarian for an hour, and we will concentrate on what that technology is that you would like to work on. Of course, the Small Business Consult. We have a patent librarian, a librarian who's trained in patent and trademarks. Is the most wonderful librarian, one of the librarians we have. We also have many librarians who have specialties as it relates to all levels, whether it's children, young adults, or adults. Um, Workforce development is major here at the library, and this is another area that we're seeing a lot of growth in, and a lot of money being invested in cities and states in terms of workforce development. And we also have a librarian for that. We have a librarian who specializes in grants. We are probably here at the Central Library the only library that has access um, to a special program that deals with researching grants. It's located here down at the Central Library, and we have a librarian who specializes in that. And of course, reading is our thing at the library, and we have all kinds of programs that support that. Education services and resources. One of the things that we're seeing a major increase is in our immigrant services and citizenship services, senior services, of course, online courses like we're having today, and help with homework. Next one. So our objectives today, we just want you to gain more insight, as it relates to your business, gain more insight of self as a small business person, um, your competition, and your customer. I want to show you resources that are going to help you with that today. We want to increase, the opportunity for success with your small business, in terms of strategy. And we're going to be forecasting some future trends. And as you know, we have gone through and are continually to go through a lot of change as relates to the effect of the pandemic. So we just want to make sure that you know where to get the resources today. Today, I'm not going to be doing a lot of training in terms of how do you utilize these. I want you aware that these are some of the resources that you have access to. My next page. One of the things that all of you, if you're in a small business, all of you have a code. You fall under a 6-digit number that describes your business. Why is this important for you to know? This is important for you to know because the government, the city, on the city, state level, and national level will sometimes utilize this classification code for RFPs, meaning requests for proposals, for grants, for monies. And so they sort of organize their information based on this North American industry classification system. All of you should know your NAICS code. If you do not know your NAICS code, please work with your mentors or give me a call so we know what that number is for you. a lot of you will fall under a number of codes. You may have 3 or 4 codes because of the nature of your business. You will want to put this in your business plan if you have not written your business plan as of yet. But it just gets you familiar with um, when people are having a call out for various services. And if they're using that code, I would like you, it's very important that you know what that code is. This is a copy of the book that we can find that code in, and it's also online as well. Next page. Remember in the beginning, I said we're going to talk about research and resources, okay? Um, when you go on our site and you click that, this is something that you're going to see. We're going to talk about the databases that come under A to Z. Um, we also have other resources under our subject guides. I would really love for you guys to explore. But today, I want to talk a little bit about some of the databases that are here at the library. They're free for you to use. And with a library card, you may access this from home as well. So let's go to the next. So when you go on our in on our database on our website, you'll go down to business and you'll click business and go to the next page, and this will take you to some of our the databases that we have. One of the first ones that I want you to be familiar with is called Business Insights Essentials. People, when you first see that, you'll it it focuses a lot on major companies giving you reports on that, but it has another feature that people just are not aware that it does, and it will give you an industry report, and the industry report is usually pretty up to date. It's not a major report, but it's enough information um, to tell you what's happening in your industry. Now, why is this important for you as a small business person? When you do your business plan, one of the things that you should be putting in your plan is, what's happening in your industry. And this report will do that. Go to the next page because I'm not sure if I show this. Okay. See where, interesting enough, you can enter the name of your industry or you can put it in through NAICS code. So let's say you're in the bakery industry. The bakery industry has a host of NAICS codes, but you can put bakery industry, and then you want to make sure that you put in industry, and when you do that, it will force up. If there is an industry report, it will come up. Can we see the next page? This is a sample of a report. This was of mobile food vehicles, which is another name for food trucks. Okay, and the other reason why I want you to know your NAICS code is because you're going to see how the other names for your business, and this is really important because this is how in the world of classifications you need to be aware of other terms that your particular industry might be associated with. And this is really good to know because if there's a major change that has happened in your industry, it will impact your your business. So for example, if you're a baker and in the industry report you see that sugar is going up by 50%, you would want to know that because that's going to impact um, how much you're going to um, charge for your service and all those kind of things. So it's really a good thing to know, what's happening in your industry, and when you do your business plan. These are where you want to pull out information to strengthen your stand on the business that you're going into. Next page. There's also a market research called ISBIS World. They also will give you a report. Let's go to the next page, and there they see they ISBIS report is always up to date. Right now, we're going to go into another database that has been very successful for our small businesses, and it's something called um, it's now is been renamed. We used to know it by one, but it's now called Reference Solutions by Data Axle. And what this will do for you is you want to know, um, first of all, what businesses you might be, if you're in a business to business kind of situation and you're trying to attract information about other businesses, this database would be very good for you. Can we go to the next page? Um, let's go to the next one. Seems like we're going backwards. Okay, but that's all right. So this one, this is what it's going to look like. Um, Data Access Reference Solutions has 10 different databases. The business is one of them. We have one called Consumer Lifestyles. There's like 10 different databases that we can use that's going to help you secure information about businesses. And when I say information about businesses, it's like their contact information. It's going to give you some historical information about the business. It's going to show you the kind of volume that they're doing and how much they're making, if they are a good credit risk, things like this. Okay, next page. These are the different, remember I said there's 10 different databases. The two that we tend to use a lot is the business one and the consumer lifestyle. The consumer lifestyle, for any of you who have businesses that are being focused on the consumer, you're trying to get in um, information about your consumer, the demographics, where should you be serving or locating your service, or who are those patrons who could utilize your service. Consumer lifestyle is key because you want to know who your ideal client is. And consumer lifestyle will help you with that. And the research that it provides for you in terms of demographics, in terms of behaviors, who are the people um, who are into pet groom, who need pet grooming services. We will be able to find that kind of information and most kinds of information for consumer oriented um, services. Next page. So, who is your ideal consumer? All of us need to know and have a um, real clarity as to who is your ideal consumer. Where do they hang out at? What else do they like, and why will they choose you? These are things that we need to have clarity on, because if we don't, we're just like throwing things out there and hoping that they will stick. We want to be able, again, as I said earlier, our role is to provide that kind of clarity so that you understand and know who it is that you are trying to get your product to. And people are looking for you. They are absolutely looking for you. Next slide. This is a sample of an ideal client. And you'll notice the types of information that are in there, you know, um, age, their behavior, purchase gourmet food, gender, female, um, zip code, home incomes. Where do you get all that type of information? Next slide. Again, this is just the same that we saw, but the variables. And for those who are watching today, Look at those variables. Do you know, or do you have that in terms of your ideal client? Do you know who your ideal client is in with these particular variables of age and behavior and zip code and income? Um, it needs to be almost that finite. Next page. Um, for consumer, like in this particular database, this is what it will look like. Um, I usually will just, in the beginning to teach you, we'll look at geography and we'll look at lifestyle um, for consumers to see what will come up. Okay. When I say lifestyles, I'm talking about, what are the behaviors that you're looking for? Is it, um, are they do-it-yourselfers? Are they craft people? Do they like um, are they athletic? Are they, whatever it is that your business, the behavior, we will try to track it that way. Next. And this is a sample. You'll see there's a plus sign on most of these, and um, it will just break down other behaviors. If you look at the one before it, that is broken down, cooking slash wine, gourmet food and wine, remember the ideal client, we would have marked this to say this is the behavior that we would want to look at to get that more of a feel for that ideal client who likes gourmet food. But look at all the other things that we can sort of search on to see, and these will, like I said, expand into other topics as well. Our next page. Um, Geography, we can search pretty much throughout the country. And that's important for a lot of you because you may be online and you might want to know, what's happening in other cities. Or you just might want to know just locally in a county, or you may want to know just in a zip code. Um, we can narrow it down that type of way for you. Okay, next page. I know this looks very busy to you, but fear not, okay? In that example of the ideal client in Virginia, the gourmet, the people who do gourmet, what we found is that 50 to 59-year um, age group was key. Um, we found that zip code 22207 was key. Okay. Um, Sometimes you let the numbers guide you. They're they're not set in stone because we may not want to go that big. You might want to say, I really want to target that 30 to 39 year, you know, whatever it is that you want to do. This is just showing you the numbers and how they're breaking down. If you need to follow the bigger numbers, you follow the bigger numbers. But if you specify that you really want to deal with a particular age and a particular zip code, we can do that as well. This is just to give you a like a snapshot, a picture as to how, in this case, it was age and zip code. We can do a whole host of combinations of, you know, income level with this and other things. Let's go to the next page because I think we did do that with this. Okay, this one was an estimated income for this particular area code. And you can see just by the colors, this is done in a graph. Um, the 500,000, there's 164 people. That next one, dark blue, is that 300 to almost 4,000. So it breaks it down for you that way as well. And again, you have the ability to choose to say, I really want to focus, I might want to focus on that 200,000 to 249. And we can do that. And you'll see the numbers, under there. The numbers are good to know, but the strength of this particular database, when I click those numbers, it's going to give me who these people are. Can I have the next page? And this is an example of what you will see. That you will get this client list, and basically you will have their name, address, street, um, city, state, zip, and their phone number as well if it's listed. Um, but what's the strength of this particular database? Not only does it give you that, I think the next page is going to, like, if I click into one of those, it's going to give me more information about that one person. So um, again, it's on the top is the basic information, but it is telling you their gender, their marriage status, their phone number, years in the home. It will give us the neighborhood information, you know, um, and as you go down that, it will give you some additional information as well. Next page. Um, their life interests, it also tells you the other things that they are interested in. And this is really good information to be aware of, because not only, let's say, this person loves gourmet food, but where else are they hanging out? Um, they're, you know, in this particular case, the book buyers, yes, they like gourmet food. They're shopper, general sports. It's giving you a little bit of picture as to the other kinds of things in terms of their lifestyle they like to do. Next page. And again, you can download. Let's say you want to get a calling list, so you can download. I think it's a limit. Um, is it maybe 125 or 150 per session, but you can close it down, reopen it, and still, add on more. But this will give you like a calling list of people who are falling into that particular lifestyle. And this is good because now you have real people that you might be able to get to. Next page. um, if you ever these are your messaging, when we think about Nike and you know it's like you have an opportunity to to give your message now to people, and this is part of the reason why your branding and your messaging and your value, what value you're going to be bringing. So what is the message? If you have access to people, just because you offer a service um, is not enough. They have to understand what the connection is, for your service and your business to them. Nike has always done this very, very well. Next page. They need to understand your message, acceptance. This is how people will start to connect with you. That, once you have identified them, what is the message that you really want them to understand about you? What is the value? What problem are you solving? And when I say problem doesn't have to be a negative thing. Problem could be something positive in terms of, they need to feel good about, this service. It makes them feel better. One of the places that does that very well is our, our phones through do you have the most recent phone? Are you an early adopter? You need to be on the cutting edge, of services. So yes, people want to understand and be connected as to how it is that you're giving them a really good product and service that they need. Next one. Is your Is your service sustainable? I put true value down there. I get very fascinated by true value because out of all of the major businesses of their competitors, they still found a way. They knew their niche. They knew um, their audience, and yes, they could go to all of these big home supply stores and what have you. But True Value, they understood a section um, of their audience, and they remain with them, and that helps them be sustainable. So the question you may have to ask yourself in this area of change that we're going through is, can you be sustainable, with your business? Next one. Potential customers. So for information in terms of the library, if you're looking for potential customers, these are some of the databases that um, can help you identify potential customers. Consumer Lifestyle is one, New Movers, US Business Movers. I also like the US Census website. They have some good information in terms of demographics. Next one. Buying power. You want to know information. If if you have a service or a product that you want out there, who can buy? Who has the ability to buy? Again, from the library, the Consumer Lifestyle database. We have a couple of books. I love the Who's Buying series by Strategic Press. They break it down just as good as some of our databases. Our databases are more up to date and more accurate. I find the books, they they don't keep up with the statistics as much, but they do a pretty good job as well. Next one. For your competitors, you want to know who who's in your area of competition. Who else is doing what you're doing, and you just don't want to know their name. You want to know some information about them. What are they doing? What are they doing well? Um, how's the business ranking? What are their sales value like? These the data ASO business, new business, US business, new movers, and business insider essentials will give you that kind of information as well. Next one. Um, in summary, free free resources are available to you, and I have to really stress that because some of the services that we provide at the library, people also sell these services as well. And they're not cheap, and it's not cheap. For you, what it's going to entail is learning a little bit about how to utilize these services. And I have worked with a number of people on these databases, and when they get it, I'm telling you, they could teach this better than I can because they really know how to work these databases. They're not hard to learn. They're accessible from home if you have a library card. So it's something that you can play with. We're always here available to help. The Book of Librarian, the video consultations are available, and we're seeing people in-house now as well. In our Book of Trainer, they deal with all of our technology, whether phones, um, Excel, Microsoft products, whatever you're working with, they can help you with that, and that is also free. Um, and our relationship with our community partners to address any of the pandemic and post-pandemic business development, I have never seen so much available to small businesses as I have within this last couple of years. I was shocked when I came back from Philadelphia, which was a couple of years ago, to see the commitment to small businesses. So the the community partners. There's tons of them. Ted, will share with you, what those our part, those partners are. SCORE is major. The SBA is major, and there's a host of others that are here to help with small businesses. Next. But you're going to need a public card, library card. But I want you to be aware. Yes, you may get if you're in the Buffalo or Erie County area, you can get a card with the Buffalo and Erie County Library. But a lot of people don't know, because you live in the state of if you live in the state of New York, you can also get a New York Public Library card. And the databases they have will just blow your mind. I'm telling you, they do a lot of outreach education program online, and some of the databases they have is just amazing. And it's free, but you have to order it. You need some information to fill out on the application, and I believe some kind of identification that states that you do live in New York State. But that's also available to you. So that's the regular card, and they have an e-card. And I would just recommend you get the e-card, because you're not probably more than likely not going to be going to New York City, to go pick up a book. So it's called Simply E, and that will give you access to their databases as well. Next one. And that's our card. Go to our website, www.buffalolib.org, and you'll see apply for a card. So if you do live, in Erie County, this is a card that's available to you as well. And you need this to be able to access, the databases that we talked about today. So if you need any information, you need to contact me, please give me a call or email me. It's easier to email me because I check my email all the time. I'm not even at my desk all the time, but if you email me, I will get back to you. If you have any questions, or you're trying this and you're running into a wall, or if you need to meet with me, I'd be more than happy to do that. That's a service that our library is committed to, and we want to see you successful.
Well, thank you, Sandra.
Well, thank you, Ted.
That's a ton of information. And, every time I listen to your presentation, something else comes in my mind about the types of resources that the library provides. I was not aware, or maybe I just missed the point the last time, that you have a specialist that talks about grants.
Yes.
It's able to take a look for grants.
Yes.
And a patent librarian.
Yes.
Those are terrific resources. Especially, we have had a couple of clients come into SCORE asking about both grants and hey, I have a product that I've developed and I want to talk about patents. So the library is a great source of information for that. And also about the, I want to underline the book a librarian that you talked about. And it is something that we frequently talk to clients about when they're researching things like, who is my customer?
Yes.
Where can I find the customers that I need? Even in my local zip codes, the zip codes that are within a 10-mile radius of a business, so very, very important information, research information. So
and
thank you so much
for their business plan. People, we have sample business plans. I forgot to tell people that as well. Sometimes it's good to see that, what people are putting in business plans, and SCORE and SBA takes you through that process. But sometimes it's just really good to see that, and you'll see the information that we're talking about is the kind of information that you really need for your business plan.
Sandra, we do not have any questions that have shown up in the chat. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to allow our attendees to open up their microphones. It'll take me a second here to go ahead and move the controls here, but I'm going to allow our participants to open up their microphones. And if there is anyone among our attendees that would like to go ahead and ask a question or make a comment, at this point, I am just about done opening up the microphones here. I think I have a few more, just a couple more. That's Michelle and Robert and Tony. And okay, if there is anyone you would like to open up your microphone, if you have a question or comment. We do have a few more slides that we're going to show, so don't anybody go away. We have some local resources and national resources that I'd like to talk about. But anybody there? Question for Sandra? Comment?
It's interesting. I'm looking at when you ask people to log in, the types of things that they're doing, which is very fascinating. I just wanted to share with the people who are here. You're doing some very interesting things, nonprofit for kids and the consulting, the retired attorney, incubator works, very, very fascinating kinds of things. So congratulations to all of you. I don't know where they are in their process at this point, but very good. I'm very glad to see the kinds of things that they're doing. Tony
Okay,
Fisk.
well,
Who's Tony Fisk? Got a raised hand.
Yeah,
Okay.
Hi, Sandra.
Hi.
Thank you for presenting. I'm sad to say I missed the first bit of it, but I appreciate the information. I look forward to watching the recording. But I'm just wondering, you may have answered this. I'm an author, and I wanted to utilize the libraries and as a source to be able to do a education, a book signing. I work with dementia. That's my specialty. And any recommendations or suggestions, particularly now, or even, as we hope everything opens up even further in the future, about how to utilize the library, the public library space to embrace our message, but also to help expand our business.
We have at the library every year, we have local authors. We have around probably, I think the last time we had maybe around 75 local authors. It's a very big thing that we have here at the library. And it does just that. It gives people exposure to know, about your book signings, purchasing of books. So that's something that always happens, at our library. But because of the topic that you deal with, we also have a librarian who specializes in like our health component. And I would want you to get in contact with her, because this is something we may need to be interviewing you. So, just to get the topic, because it's such a big topic, doing a presentation. We just need to talk to each other. We need to connect with each other to see how we can make that happen. But we do have, as I said, a standard, very big program for our local authors. Usually it was happening, I want to say in September, but let me get back to you on that. Because I haven't seen anything, because of the whole COVID thing, we haven't had a lot of indoor things, a lot of out of door things during the summer, but not too many indoors. So I can get back to you to see when they're going to restart that again.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there anybody else for a question or comment for Sandra? If that's not the case, then let me proceed. I have a few slides here to show you some things that are available that are beyond the library. You got a lot of stuff going on at the library, but let's take a look at some of these things. And I think we've got about 8 slides, so probably another 10, 15 minutes. And then we can talk about any of the resources that I bring to the fore here. Since I represent SCORE, my first slide is going to be about SCORE. But at this point, many of you know that the services that SCORE provides are basically in 3 areas: requesting a mentor, onboard demand training sessions and courses, and articles and templates. Just to show you something here, I think this is going to work. By going to SCORE, you can get a start. This is a startup roadmap, your guide to successfully starting your business. And this consists of a number of questions plus a number of segments that really get you into starting your business. So that's one of the things that comes up. And by going to score.org, let me get back to my, let's see. Okay, sorry about that. It's extensive in terms of on-demand training sessions. It takes a little bit of navigation within the score.org website, but you can get to a ton of different training courses to help you start out on things. In terms of articles and templates, I've listed examples here. Importing goods from other countries. There's a few articles on that that you can find on the website. By the way, you will be getting a copy of these slides, and each of these examples, you can click on those examples and they link directly to the website. As far as templates, there is a template that we use a lot with clients, planning financial statements template. And you can go in there and do financial projections. There's an Excel template that you can fit numbers into, and you can do projections. Again, I would recommend highly that you look at the SCORE website and the buffaloniagara.score.org website for information there. Lots of stuff there. Terrific resources from SCORE. Next slide. Whoops. Forgive me for this. Let me go back here. Oh, that's how it is. Okay. Okay, I'm having some problems here. Well, that isn't going to help me. Well, I'll stop sharing that. There it is. Are we back on, Sandra?
You're good.
Okay. Next one is SBA.gov. Want to encourage you to take a look at SBA.gov because you can find things like planning, launching, managing, and growing your business, federal state licenses and permits. We get a lot of questions about federal state licenses and permits. If you go on the SBA site, we're not only talking about New York State or the Buffalo area, we're talking about nationally. So you can find out a lot there on SBA.gov. Information about microloans. And we'll talk a little bit about microloans here in the Buffalo, Niagara area in a minute. But just generally looking at microloans, you could find out information there, and generally about the SBA loan program. Federal contracting, we get a lot of questions from clients about how do I go ahead and get qualified for federal contracting? You can find a lot of that on sba.gov. Okay. This is one that we tell clients a lot about, the New York Business Express. It is a New York State link and website with tons of information, how to start a business in New York State. And those of you that are not in New York State, I'm sure you will find similar sites on your state websites. But New York Business Express, we recommend that highly to every client that comes to us for research and information that they're looking for. Incentives. On the New York State site, you're going to find information about incentives for small businesses and some information about grants. We get a lot of questions about people coming to us for grants. And grants are not the easiest things to qualify for, but you're going to get the information about what grants are out there and available. And this is one site where you can go to look for that information. Small business development centers. Small business development centers are all throughout the United States. We have 3 that I'm going to point out here in the Western New York area. The 3 primary ones that we deal with at Buffalo Niagara SCORE are the SBDC at Buffalo State College, the SBDC at Niagara Community College, and the SBDC at Jamestown Community College. Lots of services available there, primarily and particularly in the development of business plans. We are very close partners with the people at small business development centers. They are paid for their services. I'm sorry, they are paid employees that provide free services for small businesses. So lots of information that you can get there from small business development centers. And like to recommend that and look into small business development centers in your area and in your state. This is a local, our local women's business center, but there are women's business centers in practically throughout the United States. I believe that they're also supported in part by the SBA, but the one here in the Western New York area is located at Canisius College, focusing on women entrepreneurship. If you're a small business and a woman-owned business, this is a resource center that you can go ahead and get in contact with. Would encourage you to get in contact with, and they have a number of programs. There's a lot of networking that goes on, a lot of support, and would encourage you to take a look at the Women's Business Center, the one here at Canisius College in Western New York, or for those of you outside the area, take a look for the Women's Business Center that's close to you. Here in Western New York, we have the benefit of having what's called the Western New York Small Business Legal Clinic. This is a nonprofit that provides free legal services. These services are listed there, a ton of different things that you can go to. The appointments are a little bit, it takes a little time to get your appointment there, but you have to complete an intake form. And if you go to the website, I believe the intake form is on the website for arranging an appointment, but that's a requirement these days for getting an appointment. The small business legal clinic these days operates out of the small business development centers that I just listed. The one at Buffalo State, at Niagara Community College, and at and in James, well, I'm not in Jamestown at the present time, but certainly at the Buffalo State and Niagara Community College. This is a terrific service. It's free, and I know the people personally there, and they are absolutely terrific in helping small businesses with any of the legal connection questions. In Western New York, and actually in the state, we have microloan agencies. Those of you that are outside of the Western New York areas, you should take a look at the microloan agencies, and you can probably find them on the SBA.gov website. But here in the Western New York area, the Westminster Economic Development Initiative, WEDI, is one of them. It's primarily local. Pathstone Enterprise is throughout the state, and Pursuit Lending is throughout the state. And they make loans to small businesses, and the loans are listed there, the types of loans that you can take advantage of. And that could be anything from a $5,000 loan through several $100,000, but those are the agencies in the area. It's always good to keep in mind that these are the microloan agencies work primarily with small businesses. They're really pushing small businesses and give a lot of service beyond just loaning money. There's also advice and counseling that they give. If you have been in business a while, your business is up and running, or you're just at the point where your business is launching, the University of Buffalo Center for Entrepreneurial Leadership is a terrific resource. You have to pay for the courses and the association with the Entrepreneurial Leadership Center, but highly recommended, and certainly a wonderful resource in the area, particularly for businesses that have launched and are early businesses in their early life cycle. Other organizations, Better Business Bureau of Upstate New York. The Better Business Bureau is a terrific organization, particularly when you're going ahead and dealing with suppliers. They also have workshops and webinars that they present. I put down here Beverly Gray Business Exchange Center. This is one of the community centers, and there are others in the area which I haven't listed. But if you're in the Buffalo, New York area, the Beverly Gray Business Exchange Center is an excellent location to go ahead and particularly for minority and women-owned business enterprises, service disabled, veteran-owned businesses, a really good organization to go ahead and contact and see what kind of services they can provide. Information and guidance that they can provide. Those of you outside the Buffalo, New York area, certainly you've got better business bureaus in your location, and I'm sure you'll find community organizations that focus on small businesses. And lastly, you've got hey, if you're looking for information and you're doing research, you've got Google, Facebook, and LinkedIn, which you should be into. And of course, you should be listed on Google, Facebook, and LinkedIn, among others, on the internet. And lastly, I just wanted to list some of the business articles and locations for business articles. If you're researching a particular issue, you might look to Forbes or entrepreneur.com or industrial publications for information and help. I recently had a client that was looking for how do I locate suppliers overseas and deal with suppliers overseas. And entrepreneur.com had a terrific article on that and provided a great deal of information. So those are maybe very obvious situations, but certainly Forbes entrepreneur.com are two highly, I would recommend publications to look at for information. So with that, I am going to stop my sharing here. And the microphones are still open at this point. If anyone has a question or a comment, you're welcome to go ahead and chime in, open up your microphone and go for it.
Can I speak on something that you reported on? The industry,
yeah, Sandra, please.
The industry reports. I can't stress enough for people to look at in your industry, what is the top, you have like a national association, and then you'll have like a state or a city. Go to those national association, any of the newsletters that they put out. I am shocked and amazed of the information that is given at that level. Money, support, you just need to know nationally what's happening in your industry. So I just want to encourage people, if you don't know what those national, just put, if you're into consultant, it's the National Association of Consultants, okay? Go and look and see what they're talking about, because I have checked in with some of these, and sometimes they're giving out money. They want to, they want new businesses to be successful. So don't rule those out.
Thanks for that comment, Sandra. Robert had a question or a statement question in the chat. Any special service organizations for doing business in Canada? Well, one of the first places, if you're looking for doing business in Canada, one of the first places to look is the U.S. Commerce Department's website, and look at the country reviews, and you may be able to you're going to find a lot of information about exporting to Canada. What are the primary products? The Department of Commerce also has, they have a customer service staff that you should be able to find the number to call for information about doing business in Canada, and get service organizations in Canada. And another thing, I mean, that is something also that I would recommend, Robert, that if you haven't been Googling on that you go ahead and do a Google search on that. So those would be a couple of suggestions I would have. Anybody else? Well, okay. I would like to mention again that we will be sending out copies of both Sandra's and my slide decks, and those will be getting to you either later today or tomorrow. The also a PDF copy of the slides will be included. We invite you to go ahead and take a look at the upcoming webinars from SCORE, and to go ahead and check out what going ahead and getting involved in those. BuffaloNiagara.score.org. When you look under workshops, you will find the September workshops listed. And I want to thank Sandra again for her presentation today. And I want to thank all of you for joining us. I wish you great success in your businesses, wonderful health for you and your families, and have a great day. Thanks for being with us.